Hey, how's it going? And welcome back to Lights,
Camera,
and Conversation. I'm Walid and
I'm Kavita Raj.
Hey, Kavita, cheers.
Hey,
so
cheers.
Good to see you.
So wonderful to see you, always, bestie.
We have such an exciting episode ahead because today I'm going to just simply ask you how you've been and what's been going on because I know you have some big news to share.
Yes.
And it'll be the highlight of our episode. So, what's up, Kavita?
That's what we're going to be chatting about this week.
Yes.
It has been a phenomenal last couple of weeks. Oh my God, guys. So my daughter Lara was in a global girl group contest and she made the group. So cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Congrats to Lara.
I don't even know how else to just contain our excitement about this. This has been something that she has been training for almost a year. And for a large part of the year, it was something that they all did in the studio confidentially. So they went public, so to speak, in September. And so in a very quick 2.5 months, it is now all done as far as that show is concerned. And here we are in this exciting, exciting moment of celebrating her journey, celebrating her making the global girl group, which has been what she was working towards, and here we are. So
yes, and so we're gonna want to learn all about this. So I know it's with Geffen Records and Universal Music Group. Is that correct?
Yes. It is. To be specific, it's with HYBE and Geffen.
HYBE and Geffen.
Yes, and HYBE is the iconic label that BTS was with and is with, and they are just legendary in the bands and the artists that they have created. And Geffen, of course, is a classic American iconic label. So the collaboration of these two, amazing companies to want to have this visionary idea of having a global girl group at a time where people are feeling nostalgic with their tastes in music and film and culture. We're in a nostalgic era.
Yes,
and
we love reboots, we love revivals, we love remakes, and it's time for a new global girl group, the new Spice Girls, if you will.
A girl group is just something literally what I've been kind of craving and for a few years. And to hear that somebody was thinking the same thing and kind of understood the pulse of the moment and wanted to create this and make it global and diverse was just what we as a family could have even dreamed of. Because with two girls in the music business, and for one to have this opportunity is something else. We would have just been thrilled at whatever stage she was in because all the girls in this program are unbelievably talented. All the girls were phenomenal. And this is just, we feel very blessed.
So you mentioned the last 2.5 months has been something, but Laura has been in training for the last year.
Correct. Yes.
So let's start at the very beginning.
Yes.
How did she get into such a program? And for those listening, Laura, your daughter, is one of your two daughters, and she is a singer, dancer, songwriter, performer as well. She's also an actor.
Yes.
And I know she's been pushing her music.
You were her acting coach, and you were her acting guru. So, and she
ever since day one, little baby Laura at the performing arts camps I was teaching back in New York. Seeing her blossom nearly a decade later now, and have this opportunity. So you moved to LA. What has it been 2 years now?
We moved to LA exactly 2 years ago.
And what happened a year ago with this opportunity to get started?
We moved from New York to LA 2 years ago because of I feel like a guest in my own podcast right now.
I told you it's all about this topic today.
I'm the one asking questions, and this is so fun. We moved 2 years ago, as you know, for my older daughter's journey, and she signed an amazing publishing deal and wanted to be in LA. And we were like, you know what? We're all working from home. It's a post-COVID era. Why don't we just move to Los Angeles, sunny California, and be with my bestie, right? So we
Cheers
did that.
to that, bestie. So happy you're here.
Yes.
West
Thank
Coast
you
love.
for nudging us to be here, and we just very quickly followed.
I love it.
You're lucky we didn't like move in with you and say that, hey.
Wouldn't be the worst thing. So you got here. I know Rhea had a lot going on with her publishing deal already.
So focusing on that, Lara was in high school. She was doing very well in high school.
And she was at the Professional Performing Arts School.
That was in New York.
Sorry, the one here,
it's called LACSA.
LACSA.
Yes,
LACSA
it's called LACSA. Exactly, and that's a phenomenal performing arts high school. And she was there doing what she loves. And this audition came her way, and she, did the audition. It was multiple steps for the audition, different levels of it, and she made it through each round. And we were just elated when we found out, like maybe a month something after her first audition, that she was selected to be in training. And then we understood that the process is that she's now officially a trainee with HYBE and Geffen on this project.
With how many girls total that were picked as trainees?
About 20 girls.
20 at the start, and how many remained in the current girl group now?
In the final girl group, there's 6.
There's 6 girls. So it's been a journey, and 14 girls had not the same luck, unfortunately, but were part of the training for that year.
Yes, exactly. So 20 of them trained for this, almost a year period. Some of them have been training for longer than Lara. They've been there for maybe a little bit over a year, close to 2, I think in some cases, I'm not sure, but they've been training for longer. So Lara was very lucky to have this opportunity, but she also kind of went in with I need to hit the ground running mindset. She was like, my God, Mom, the girls are phenomenal.
Everyone is so
talented, so beautiful, so amazing. So she was like, I just need to really kind of
put in the work.
And what I found phenomenal unfolding in this journey is her work ethic went to the next level. She was always one of those passionate people that put in the work and showed up when she had the opportunity she wanted. But for her to have this level of consistency every day, work hard, work in a group, collaborate, was awesome as a parent to see that work ethic. You can't but admire and support that.
Well, of course, especially when you're a self-starter, and Laura, took it on her own will to do that. Was she discovered through a TikTok video or something like that to get the audition?
She had a couple of singing videos out on Instagram and TikTok, maybe YouTube as well, and she was found through that, and scouted.
So the record company scouted through the social media.
Through social media, and found her through that. So
So social media is important. We keep saying, put your content out there.
Put your content out there. Put your singing videos.
And take it with a grain of salt, of course.
Oh, yes, of course, yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And here she is. So let's talk about what happened during the last year. You've been, one of our biggest fans and supporters. You've been in the, wings watching from the side, nonstop. So there's been many phases of this, even a trip to South Korea.
Yes.
So before we get all the way there, let's start at the beginning of the year. What's training like? How do they fulfill schoolwork if they're under 18?
Correct. Yes.
Are they singing, dancing, acting, writing? Tell us everything.
Yeah. They had a fantastic program for the girls who were still minors and in school. They had a fantastic tutor on set, and the girls were great about their schoolwork. They had to do that. So that was a requirement that they more than fulfilled. So it was awesome. Lara had that support and help. And so Lara would go a bit early and finish her schoolwork in the early few months when she was still in school. And then in the summer, as far as school is concerned, Lara ended up accelerating her courses, and she took a lot of courses in the summer and finished her 12th grade requirements. So by the end of the summer, so come August, she was actually fully done with all her 12th grade requirements and got her high school diploma.
That's a year early, right?
1 year early, she got her high school diploma. Yep.
So she finished, in theory, at the end of 11th
Exactly.
grade.
So 10 months early. Technically, she would have done it next year in May, and she finished in August.
That's so exciting. And I know that was important for her because she wanted to be able to really focus on this opportunity.
Yeah, because, it's a lot of training. It's incredible amount of learning they give you. As an artist that wants to learn and grow, this program was just phenomenal.
So what's a day like? Give us an hourly breakdown. Do you know about her morning, afternoon, evenings, generally speaking?
A rough a day, and each day was different, but a rough day was something like, she had school for, 3 hours, and then she would have lunch breaks, she would have, singing training, dancing training, and then group kind of, stage presence, performance training, and then they would have all of their appropriate breaks. And then when they're done at night, they would have had a great day's work, amazing learning, understanding, just movement at the highest level. And then on top of that, coordinating with other girls and then understanding how to move in sync with everybody. So it's, you may be individually a great singer or a great dancer. It's another level of challenge to be like great with a group of people.
Yes,
because you have to
moving
be in
unison.
Unison, exactly.
Yes. That's tough.
Yeah.
So when she's doing something like that, this has actually been led in the style of K-pop training, right?
Yeah.
So it's very strict, very stringent. It's very particular. It's very specific.
Yeah.
I know I've seen the Blackpink documentary on Netflix, and I believe Laura's going to have a documentary with this new girl group, KATSEYE.
Yes. So the KATSEYE.
That's the name
KATSEYE.
of the KATSEYE is the name of the group.
The group.
Yes.
Prior to that, the show and the whole contest was called the Dream Academy.
Okay.
And that was, it is going to be shown, the whole journey of the formation of the girl group from the beginning till it was formed is going to be shown on Netflix sometime in 2024.
Yes.
So we're all like super excited about that.
Yeah, and as someone like me who's seen the Blackpink documentary, and that for me, the biggest telling thing from watching it, the takeaway was how hard they work, how strict that training is.
Yes.
I mean, it's like, the pro championship next level. It's like Russian ballet. It's like whatever you want to say that's the most intense for K-pop and now for American pop.
Yeah. And Lara actually went in as a very strong singer. And we thought her years of dance training, and she's just such a phenomenal dancer. But then I'm mom, so obviously I'm biased. But she went in and realized that she really has to put in the effort to up her dance level. And she took that, on her to do it, to more than meet the expectation and exceed it. But it took her those months to do it. And she took that very seriously while still focusing on the singing piece of it.
Yeah.
So.
And the days were long. I mean, she'd be up at, 5, 6 a.m., and she wouldn't get home till, after dinner, and then she'd be back up the next day.
Yeah, not that early, but she would, have, early mornings, and she would be done late at night. But it's like a full day's work with.
And that was a job. The girls were, I believe, compensated, and they were obliged to obviously show up. It's a job, right?
Yeah,
this is not a
commitment.
Club. This is a very serious commitment.
Yeah.
And for
the
such
work
young
ethic
girls,
is so important. Yeah.
What was the youngest that you know of that was participating, and maybe the oldest in this girl group?
I believe the youngest was either 14 or 15.
Wow.
I'm not sure. The youngest in the group is 15.
Okay.
I think there might have been a trainee who was 14, but I'm not sure. She may have been 15, but yeah.
Okay, cool. And Laura recently turned 18.
Lara just turned
Happy birthday
18.
again to our love Laura.
Yes, and Lara was so excited to be 18. She's like, I'm an adult now.
Yes. And now we're at it.
Yes.
So we experienced this awesome casting call, which started through TikTok for her. And then you said there was the training for about a year. And then it led to the last 2.5 months, which became a competition, you said.
Yeah.
And there was a trip to South Korea that I've briefly mentioned. So let's talk about the last 2.5 months, because just recently, the week before last, this was announced, the official girl group final participants were chosen. Yeah. So what happened the last 2.5 months? What's the voting process like? What's the competition like? And how is it different than the training?
Yeah, so after months of training, in secrecy and, all of that preparation, they went public, I believe end of August or early September. And then they basically announced the global girl group, and the fans all started becoming engaged in the journey, starting to research all the girls and find out, who they like. and who they want to support. And then came the missions. So there was the first mission where the girls were in 4 groups. All 20 girls participated. They were in 4 groups, and then 2 were eliminated from that. So 20 became 18. And then 18 of them went to South Korea.
Okay.
And then they came back from South Korea. At that point, in South Korea, 4 were eliminated. So 14 came back to the US to continue on to the 3rd mission. And then, so the second mission obviously happened
and
in
these
Korea.
missions, if I recall, because I've been voting
Yes.
and watching,
Yes.
and so I believe these missions were putting the girls in different combinations,
Exactly.
right? With
different combinations of groups.
Right.
And also, the first one was, I believe 2 groups were singing and 2 groups were dancing
And then they
predominantly.
switch
And
it.
then in the second mission, Lara was singing and dancing. And everybody was singing and dancing in the second mission. And they were also, again, in 4 groups for the second one. And the voting happened. 4 were eliminated in Korea. And then, so 14 came back to the US. And then they continued on and went into the 3rd mission, which was 3 groups, the 3rd mission. But this 3rd mission was by concept. So there was one group that sang Confident by Demi Lovato, and that was the vibe. And then one group did Buttons by Pussycat Dolls, so that was like just beautiful. And then one group did like Wannabe by the Spice Girls, so that was just such a cute, fun energy to that. And each performance was mind-blowing.
How
guys.
do you
It
even
was-
choose? It becomes so hard
like, hey,
to break
you know
someone's
what?
heart.
I am mom, and I was just like, oh my God.
The talent and the
it
caliber is
was-
just so high.
It was the combination of their raw talent, the training, and the energy between the girls. Really, they were just out there to perform. They were just like, we are showing up. It was incredible.
Are there some things Laura shared with you about camaraderie with the girls group, or did it feel competitive? What's it like, when it's a competition, but, you're basically a family seeing these people every day over a last year,
You literally said the 2 important words, family. Lara felt like she was sisters with this group of girls. All 20 of them were like a family. They have spent this much time together, these many hours each day together, and there is a bonding, there is an affection that you can feel, and this is sincerely genuine. When you meet the girls, you feel it. They are all wonderful. They're very fond of each other. So that's there. But at the same time, it is a contest. So they have to bring out their best performance, and they have to understand that this is a competition. We love each other as sisters, and we are great friends. But at the end of the day, it's also a competition. So they put their best foot forward. So the eliminations were hard, which was visible for all of us to see. The whole world saw how tough the eliminations were, because you could see the tears and you could see the, fondness they had for each other. So when that happened, you could really see
it's devastating. It is. It's
and heartbreaking
heartbreaking.
it was to see your friends go, in each mission. And that was the challenging part.
Tough.
Yes.
So you got to go to South Korea. Tell us a little bit about your time there. What were you up to?
Yeah, I was lucky.
What was it like?
I chose to go, and I, wanted to make a trip out of it. So, I told my husband that, Laura's going. And, Ria had work, my older daughter. She had work in Korea. And I was like, hey, I'm going to just, send me, and I'm going to tag along and go be with the girls and support and cheer them on. There was a wonderful fan meet and greet in Korea that the Dream Academy had, and I was very, lucky and felt blessed to be there. It would have been tough to make this long trip for so many families because, it's a distance and it takes time.
Yeah.
So I felt very lucky that I was able to go
and
be part of it.
Why was it so important for the girls to go there as part of the process?
Yes. So because HYBE is a Korean label, HYBE America is, I believe, a Korean American, venture. I think understanding the Korean training philosophy or the Korean training culture.
The method of K-pop,
It was very important for the girls to go and immerse themselves in that period of time in the culture, understand the training rigor, understand the discipline, and all the things that make these epic groups great. What makes them so great is that like level of preciseness, is that level of quality. And it was great for the girls to go and see that and, you know, immerse themselves in the culture. It was so beautiful. So they really got to appreciate the kind of mothership of the, you know, the label's venture.
So I would, you know, assume for a young artist, the fact that, you know, there's training involved, especially with the pros that are teaching you so that you can hopefully be in this group. There's also cultural immersion involved where you're traveling overseas to see how, you know, it's done with the machine, right? The K-pop machine. And there's a competitive edge involved, which is going to lead to the formation. So talk about voting a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
What was voting like, you know, for you as, you know, biggest cheerleader, as the mom, as, you know, really momager, all that fun stuff. What's it take to get those votes beyond Laura's talent and natural ability to be so magnetic, but especially in the beginning? You know, I know you were sending me texts.
Oh my God.
We were
Every
both
day.
posting. Talk about the voting process. What was expected and how did you navigate it?
Yeah, that's such a great question. It is not the easiest thing for some of us with my personality to ask your friends and family to vote for you or ask for something like that. You always feel like, oh my God, I haven't connected with that uncle in like 5 years. And now I'm like, hey, how are you doing? Vote for my daughter. Right? So it's tough. It's easy to like, say to someone you're talking to every day, but it's not the same. So that was the first thing. I was just like, but you see the energy, you see the momentum, and you see everybody is like, kind of the energy galvanizing around you. So you're like, oh, this is so huge. I mean, the amount of publicity and the amount of presence this show had, the amount of eyeballs on it, it was not the hardest thing to ask because people were seeing it everywhere.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, you know what? Okay. So if you shared it and the quality of the videos was so good, you were very proud to share it and then say, hey, while you're watching it, can you also just vote for her?
Yes.
And it was a two-step process. There was the option of voting on the app called Weverse, and then there was the option of liking the videos on YouTube. So I was just telling people to do both, and whatever they did, I was very grateful for. Yeah. And it really helped. And I think that the fans of all the girls, they all had their fan groups, fan bases, fandoms. The fans of the girls were like very quickly rising to the occasion and just showing up for them and making all of these amazing, collaborations with other fandoms and saying that, I'll vote for your artist if you vote for mine. And it was so amazing to watch the creativity
camaraderie
between them. It was so heartwarming to watch. I do have to give a shout out to Lara's fan base called the Rajberries, which I thought was insanely creative and cute and so fabulous. They were fierce.
Yeah.
They were so, amazing. Yeah. They were just
die hard.
So smart and so loyal and so fabulous. And I just saw them in action and, it was heartwarming to see.
That's so cool. So that process has happened. The competitions went down. Voting, was a big part of it.
Yep.
And just recently, the group was announced, like we've mentioned, with 6 girls.
Exactly. So after the third mission, which happened a few weeks ago, then came the crunch time, the final couple of weeks. And then I guess the final mission was the one in the live finale. That's, and there was voting on the live finale day as well, and the week leading up to that. So... so the final decision, they said, was 50% based on the voting and 50% on the judge's decision. And the voting was divided into past votes and then the live finale votes, combination, and then the judge's decision based on criteria, what we would look for, your singing, your dancing, your group chemistry, your attitude, things like that.
Your professionalism, your punctuality.
Stage presence.
All of it. So what happens next?
So that day at the live finale, I was lucky enough to go there in person and watch it. and meet some lucky fans that were able to come and support all of the girls. And at this point, there was the top 10. So after the third mission, it was the top 10 that was finalized, that was able to go into this live finale. And to see the top 10 do their performances, to see them on stage, being called out, and when the host was naming the people that made the group, my heart was pounding. I was, sitting in the front row, and Lara, I don't know if Lara remembers, I think she does. She just locked eyes with me.
Okay.
She just locked eyes with me. She saw me, and I was just clutching onto my Om necklace. She has her own. Ria has her own.
Yeah.
I think Shri has his own too. And this my mother gave me. And as you know, I lost my mother in May. And I believe you know her so well. She was so close to you. She, I believe, is with me. She's with Lara. She's inside of us, right next to us, watching us every day. But I also kind of used this as my connection to her. Yeah. So I just kept chanting all evening quietly. But my heart was pounding. I was like, this is so embarrassing. Can they actually see it or hear it?
Yes, and you're so, sweating, you're praying.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh my God, this is crazy. But when her name was called, it was second. It was the second name. And that was amazing. I mean, I was just screaming my, lungs out, as was Shri, as was, everybody in the crowd, and cheering on. And we were so blessed. It was such a huge,
relief in a way, too.
Relief in a way. And then the third girl, the fourth, fifth. And then there was obviously the dramatic pause before the sixth one. And then the 6 girls were announced. And, like I said, really all 20 of them were fabulous. So, all 10 of them were amazing. And it was just very lucky and blessed that it was, a moment for Lara to have this opportunity.
Yes, and we're so excited to see what's next. I know, like you said, there'll be a documentary coming to Netflix about it next year.
Yep.
I believe I also read in Billboard that they have their first group album coming out next year.
I believe so. Yes, they will have their first album coming out as well in 2024. So.
Which is so exciting. And me and you were recently talking. This means that she's going to be now, I believe, living with the girl group and traveling with them, and they kick rehearsals and everything up in the new year. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so. Now we're already in December, so they will be working together, doing all of this. They're sisters now for life, and they are going to be on this amazing journey together. And what is incredibly special about this is it was intentional to form a global girl group.
Yes.
They were going for as many girls as possible to kind of represent. And they accomplished that to the core, and we are so proud. Yeah.
We are incredibly proud. I'll cheers and toast you to that, bestie. Cheers.
You've been talking to me every day through this journey, so every
the
moment,
ups and
every
downs,
step,
and the lefts and rights, and all in between.
Yeah. And mine is literally just a mom's point of view.
Right.
I wasn't even there
during
the day for the trainings and all of that. I've just seen behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine when the girls, share their journey and their experience? It's going to be incredible. I just feel like I'm expecting it to be insanely inspiring. It is going to just be goosebumps inspiring.
I can't wait to see
I'm
what
saying
they
it
come
right
up with.
now. I think it's going to be that.
For those of you listening or watching us on YouTube that haven't perhaps seen any of the competition we just shared, it's still on the YouTube.
Yeah.
What's the YouTube page?
The show was The Dream Academy.
The Dream Academy.
And the girl group is called KATSEYE.
Spelled with a K.
K, exactly. And The Dream Academy on YouTube, it's under the HYBE Labels channel. And HYBE Labels Plus, you
could watch all the videos, and you can find Laura's camera as well. It's labeled Laura Cam, and you could see, shots of her performances that were voted on, leading to this exciting time. We can't wait to hear the new music that comes out next year.
Oh my God, it's going to be amazing.
So tell me, what about this experience over the last year surprised you, or was a new learning experience for you?
My kid just showed up at the next level. Nothing. She was unstoppable. She said that in some interview, but no lie, she was unstoppable. She would get up at the crack of dawn to be ready to be prepared, show up. She would stay as late. She wouldn't want to miss a thing. And I have to say, I'm so proud. I don't think Lara missed a single day of rehearsal.
That's amazing.
She went through thick and thin and she showed up. She was just like, I am going to take my vitamins. I am going to stay healthy, hydrate, and just be there.
Yes.
And, if she had aches and pains, she was just like, I'm going to take care of myself and just like show up.
Do it.
I was inspired. I was just like, oh my God. And you know what? I guess she found that opportunity to do what she loves. And she manifested it too. She's a big believer in crystals and spirituality. And she was a deep manifester. Yeah. She would hold on to her crystals and really
put it out there.
And
let's,
sincerely.
Let's realize the consistency that's been involved.
Yes.
And let's realize that she put her work out there, what we first started to talk about.
Yes.
Part of manifesting is going through the actions of what you want, really envisioning you're in the driver's seat of whatever vision you're, taking upon. And she recorded those songs just like the pop star she wants to be.
Yes.
They led her to an audition, a casting, a competition, and here we are now.
Absolutely.
That's so exciting.
And that is something that we always talk about, right? You and I, in our show, the whole premise of a lot of things is when we share our experience. Right now, today's episode, I'm sharing a story of it turning out the way we dreamed or hoped it would. But every step in this journey is a huge amount of learning and opportunity. From putting out that first video yourself on your Instagram or your social media is to be discovered. And then every accomplishment is something that you can take with you. Every piece of the training you can take with you and do something with it. As a mom of an older daughter who is an independent musician who is super self-motivated and has put out incredible music with a lot of amazing support and collaborations and people that work with her in her team, she's surrounded by a great team, is that drive to keep putting good quality content out there. So I'm a big believer in that.
Yeah.
And then I feel
putting
like that
yourself
really,
out there.
Yes.
Yes, there's no one way to do it, right?
Yes.
You just got to throw pasta to the wall and see what sticks.
100%. 100%.
And we've talked about this on previous episodes, playing with, genres and sounds, playing with looks, when to consider rebranding maybe if that's necessary. So just to keep doing something till something works.
100%, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a trial and error journey sometimes. And some things will work and some things not so much. And then you pivot and you figure out and then
and you learn from your mistakes.
And it's
all
art. Art is also subjective.
Yes, that part right there.
There will be people that love what you do and there will be those people that will be like, oh my God, I don't like it. So it's okay. Right. And you just have to be strong.
Don't take it personally.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Move on.
Absolutely.
To the next thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love that. Cheers again
Cheers
to Laura. I'm so proud of her.
Thank
you. You and the fam.
Thank you.
Because it takes a village.
Yes. Thank you for the incessant voting.
Oh my gosh.
And sharing on your platforms.
All the time.
And you share it with your entire vast network. And I know that all your friends and family were voting too. So thank you for that.
Yes, and we will do it again.
I know.
Luckily now she's in. We don't have to do it again.
Yes.
Now we can just have fun and watch her be creative, which is going to be great.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So this leads me, speaking of the next chapter, this leads me to our pop culture topic, which happens to be about the SAG strike.
Yes.
The SAG strike wrapped a couple of weeks ago, which is very exciting news, as you know. And right now, the SAG actors that are in the union are finalizing voting on whether they want the agreement to pass or not. Oh, so we will know, I believe, by early December.
How do you feel
if it passes or not?
What is the sentiment?
So, people are having doubts about AI, per usual. That was always the holdup. That was the holdup in negotiations. It was the idea behind AI and behind digital doubles and synthetic performers, which are all, used with technology to replace actors, more or less. That's always been a hot, button subject. And it continues to be a subject that I see trending making people feel uneasy about voting yes. But what I've learned from my own research is that, it's still also new. The protections are very strong. The protections are more than what we've ever had even to begin with. And beyond AI, there's some incredible things in the agreement, which includes more residuals and pay. It includes pay for streaming. And don't forget, we're going to have to renegotiate the contract in 3 years anyway. These contracts are for 3 years long. So 3 years from now, we'll have more developments on what AI is doing, its capabilities.
Was this just longer than the one 3 years ago? Than the renegotiation? This period seemed longer.
We didn't strike 3 years ago. There was no strike 3 years ago. So that's why this one was longer, because we did strike, and it's been since writers went on strike in May, actors went on strike in June, and writers resolved before us, about a month before us. It's been very long. So that's kind of the read now. For me, I tell everyone, decide for yourself. Wait till the full agreement's released. Read it, educate yourself, ask questions. You can email SAG and ask things. They have a dedicated, support team to educate you. If you have an agent or a manager, ask them questions. If you have an acting coach, ask the right questions. And at the end of the night, for me, I say ratify it, let's pass it, because if it's not passed, we fall back on the previous agreement. And our previous agreement is not better than the current agreement. I think people don't realize that. They assume we get to go back on strike and renegotiate. No, it means that it defaults to the previous agreement.
So this is the done moment. That's it. So either this has to be somewhat agreed upon, or you go back to the previous agreement. There is no, let's continue with the strike and see what happens.
So, correct. So I'm not sure of the intricacies on what would happen if it's a no. Beyond it going back to the previous agreement. I don't know if that would last for 3 years or how much longer, what's the leeway. But from what I've understood, it's in our best interest to do our own research, read it in full, ask the right questions, and then vote. And at the end of the night, if you're supporting the union, you're supporting the union. That's what it is. There's been a lot of sweat, effort that's went in, for the last several months. And I think all of us are ready to get back to work. And this technology is emerging. We do have secure provisions. And like I said, it will be revisited in 3 years.
In the spirit of good endings to this arduous journey of the work that people put into it, I hope for kind of resolution on that, and for actors also in film and TV to be able to go back and continue their amazing projects and journeys.
Yes, I hope so too. I know holidays are now around the corner. Hollywood gets very quiet during December, and then it gets super busy in the new year, which is what we call pilot season. I'm sure we'll have a whole episode dedicated to pilot season in season 3 as it approaches. But till then, I think it's going to be a good time for production to start to pick up, for us to finish getting our ducks in a row. And then when pilot season hits, I believe it's going to be like a renaissance. I think, we've been off for so long and there's so much to do. Not as much is going to get done now because of all these breaks right in between. But as soon as it's over and everyone's back at work, back in town from the holidays, there's going to be a renaissance, a big pour out of work. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm praying, the vote goes yes. And I'm praying that what our team has fought so hard for is in our best interest for the long run. It comes down to one of those things where it's like working with your agent. You have to trust your reps. You have to trust your union. At the end of the night, what else can you do? So that's where we're at now. It's a unique place to be. The power is in the members' hands, and a vote's being made. And we'll know more within the next week.
All right. And cheers to a good resolution. And a fantastic new beginning.
Cheers to that. So we'll have more coming up on next week's episode, and I can't wait for that. We have surprises to come, so much more to chat about and conversate, and I just really love talking to you, Kavita.
Oh my God, as always, we're like chit-chatting, we can talk 19 to the dozen.
Thank you all for listening. I'm Walid Chaya.
I'm Kavita Raj.
And this is Lights,
Camera,
and Conversation. Cheers, babe.
Cheers.
Hey, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow on Instagram and TikTok. We love interacting. Also, the content in this podcast episode is provided for general informational purposes only. By listening to our episode, which we love, you understand that no information contained in this episode should be construed as advice from Lights Camera Conversation or our individual authors, hosts, or guests. Nor is it intended to be a substitute for research on any subject matter. We always encourage you to do your research. Reference to any specific product or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by Lights Camera Conversation. The views expressed by speakers are their own, and their appearance on our program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity that they represent. Thanks for listening, and until next time, have a great day.